China is stationing J-16 fighters in the South China Sea in an obvious attempt to assert greater control over the area. We're very close to the point where, on a daily basis, the fig leaf of an exercise cold will hide operational warning. Those were the words spoken by United States Admiral Samuel Paparo, the current head of the US Indo-Pacific Command. The Admiral is correct. China's constant buzzing of Taiwan with massive numbers of warplanes, their incessant mock blockades of key waterways around Taiwan, the seemingly endless missile drills, are all meant to do one thing: normalize China's hostile presence and wear the Taiwanese down, all while inoculating Taiwan's American allies and the rest of the world to the concern of seeing massive numbers of Chinese forces so close to the island. But China has done more than flex its muscles off the coast of embattled Taiwan. For decades, the Chinese have spread their influence to every point in the Indo-Pacific. This includes the Paracel Islands in the South China Sea, SCS. Possessing the SCS is a vital step toward being able to attack Taiwan. If the Chinese military can control the SCS, then they can ensure that the southern passes into Taiwan are in friendly hands. It looks as though the Chinese have enhanced their standing on the Paracel Islands by deploying a group of their J-16 warplanes there. Just as U.S. Army General Douglas MacArthur once described Taiwan as America's unsinkable aircraft carrier, the Chinese have a similar view about the man-made islands they've constructed atop coral atolls and reef shelves in geostrategic locations such as the Paracels. What does this mean? The deployment of the Shenyang J-16 warplanes to the Paracels corresponds with other moves by the Chinese over the last decade in the area that are meant to solidify Chinese control. Much of China's anti-access area denial, A2AD capabilities, are arrayed in this region. A 2/AD allows for China to stymie the United States' primary tools of power projection, notably the aircraft carrier. Since the initial wave of A2/AD placements were installed in the area, advanced radars and even hypersonic weapons have been deployed to enhance the Chinese A2/AD posture in the region. Now, China is stationing their J-16s in an obvious attempt to assert greater control over the area and to signal to the Americans that their carriers and other surface warships will be easy targets. Whether the tough-talking President Trump gets that message or not is another matter entirely. But the Chinese know precisely what they're doing. If they can hold the South China Sea and enhance their position there, the Chinese can establish complete escalation dominance over the region for when their inevitable Taiwanese blockade and/or invasion occurs. All about China's Shenyang J-16 fighter. While the Shenyang Aircraft Corporation, SAC, is nowhere near as advanced as other Chinese warplanes, notably the Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon, the J-16 is nothing to balk at. It is based on the older Chinese warplane, the J-11, which is itself based on the old Soviet Sukhoi Su-27. The J-16 has elements of the Russian-built Su-30 MKK as well, enhancing the J-16's multi-role capabilities. The J-16 is powered by two Shenyang WS-10B afterburning turbofans, each providing it with around 30,000 pounds of thrust with afterburner. As for detecting enemies, the J-16 has an active electronically scanned array radar. This warbird can travel at a top speed of Mach 2, with a combat radius of around 932 miles. It can have an extended range if external fuel tanks are installed, though that would make it easier to spot on enemy radar screens. A J-16 can carry up to 12 tons of armaments, including various air-to-air and air-to-surface missiles, like the PL-10, PL-15 for air-to-air, bombs, and an assortment of other munitions. J-16s have been the bane of many U.S. military pilots. Though American and Chinese pilots have, fortunately, not been to war since 1953, Beijing's pilots are allowed, and even encouraged, to engage in highly risky behavior toward the planes and personnel of the United States. For instance, in May 2023, a J-16 performed what's known as a thumping maneuver, whereby a jet gets very close to an enemy plane and taps its hull against the enemy's hull, creating a loud thump noise. The maneuver is highly provocative, not to mention dangerous, and could lead to a major diplomatic incident. The presence of these planes at the paracels, along with all the other military equipment, indicates Xi has decided to push hard against Taiwan. Admiral Paparo is right.